Thanks for having me.
You know, you got the battle of the number ones. You've got Paige and Azzi taking on Caitlin and Aliyah. What are we expecting to see out there, especially when it's been such a truncated season and you don't know what to prep here?
Yeah, it's tough. Certainly everybody threw rosters together at the last minute, so it's been a little challenging to put some things together. And of course, Dallas with a new coach. I mean, Jose Fernandez is a great coach. But if everybody wants to talk about the number ones, right? The number one draft picks. And I think it's going to be an exciting time. Obviously, when you think about Paige and Caitlin and two premier point guards and, Aliyah in the season that she had a year ago and Azzi coming in as number one draft pick, I think it's going to be, number one, an outstanding environment. Certainly look forward to having our home fans in the arena being loud, being proud. But number two, I think it's going to be a great way to start to kick off, the season. Obviously, it starts Friday, but an ABC matchup against number one picks is going to be exciting.
All right, Steph, let's get this out of the way because the other thing that everybody wants to talk about is Caitlin playing off the ball. She sounds a little bit fed up already. This is what caught her eye this week.
Your off-ball usage that happens?
Yeah, your guys' two favorite questions: what I wear to practice and me playing off-ball basketball.
I don't want to ask.
Go ahead.
All right, so Steph, this is a basketball play. Why do you think so many people are, as you said, freaking out about this?
Well, I think fans are fans for a reason, right? Like they want to see their favorite players in a way that they've always seen them. I think that certainly when you understand basketball and you talk about basketball, it's at every level, it requires a different version of the player. And at every level, every player is better. And I just think that the way that Caitlin gets played, it's unique. I mean, it's 94 feet. It's all the time. And for us to be able to free her up a little bit, we play her off the ball. I mean, you see it in the NBA all the time. Now, does that mean that she's not going to have the ball in her hands? No. Does that mean she's going to play off the ball every single possession? No. But when we have opportunities to be strategic about ways to ease the load on her body and quite frankly on her mind and get her some easier opportunities on second, third side of the floor, we got to do that.
Well, you talked about that freedom and people's favorite. Well, you got Raven Johnson, who has had a great preseason in both games, and she's one of those players that the more you watch her, you see those intangibles. So what have you seen from her in training camp?
I think first and foremost, she's an elite defender. I mean, her energy is outstanding. She has multiple levels of effort on the defensive end of the floor. She gets a lot of deflections and steals. I mean, she really can spearhead us on that end of the floor. The other thing I love offensively is she's a kick-ahead guard. So she's an outstanding defensive rebounder. She can get in there. She gets an outlet. She's going to throw it ahead, and she's really going to ignite the pace with which we play.
So I'm curious because, it's been known that every one of your games is nationally televised. And I'm curious from your point of view, does that add more pressure to the players that every night you're going to be critiqued at the highest level? Or is it like a motivator that every night you have a huge audience?
I think it's not pressure. I mean, certainly, it's a privilege to be able to be showcased every single night. I mean, obviously, people want to watch our team. People want to continue to watch Caitlin. I think the thing that I love about it, and Renee, you know this. I mean, we've been around a long time in this game, and to see where this game came from, where we couldn't get nationally televised games to now every single game being on national television. It's an exciting time for us in the Indiana Fever. It's an exciting time for the WNBA. It's one that we've waited so long for this opportunity. So I look at it as an opportunity to continue to showcase the Indiana Fever and our team and the great players on our team every single night.
I'm curious about what the pressure is like for you coaching her because every single thing she does is so hyper scrutinized. You had her for 13 games last year. You're looking at this as we start the season right now. But what's it like for you coaching a kid like this that everyone's watching? And everyone thinks they know more about than you. That's the crazy part.
Yes. Yeah, that's fandom, right? That's fandom. I think it's a blessing. It's an opportunity. She challenges me every day to be better. I mean, her skill set is elite. Her basketball mind is elite. She challenges us as coaches to be better. And it challenges us to put our team in positions, for success, but also allow her to do what she does best. I don't think it's pressure. I think it's, great players want to be around great players, right? And great coaches want to be around great players, and they challenge you in a different way. And I'm a basketball junkie, so watching games to try to find different ways that we can get her, easier looks is an outstanding challenge. And she wants to be coached. She wants to be the best, and she wants to be pushed, and she wants that challenge too. And so I think that makes it a lot easier.
I too, Coach, am a sports junkie. I'm glad we could just go ahead and say that out loud. But to that point, I've watched a lot of Aliyah Boston and Unrivaled even coming into this, and she is such a powerhouse that I think, like, I know she's going to be happy to have Caitlin back because that was one of the high targets in the league of that two-man game. So what does that look like now? Even Raven moving Caitlin off the ball, having a two-man game with Aliyah Boston, like, you have a lot of weapons, and people sometimes don't realize, like, that's when, like, the coaches now, it's your job to mesh that whole thing together and make it work.
Yeah, I think creating space for C and AB to do what they do in the two-man game, you probably aren't going to see it necessarily on the first side of the floor anymore. Everybody's game plan is ready for that. I think playing through AB as a hub and inverting some of those actions. I mean, she showed last year that she can be a point forward, so to speak. I mean, she handled a lot of our ball handling duties with Caitlin off the floor. We want to play through her. We want those two to be able to play off of one another. But we also got to create space for Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell is an elite guard who can get her shot off at any time, who can get downhill, who can create matchup problems, who can create rotations to allow Aliyah and Caitlin's job to be a little bit easier.
I'm glad you brought up, you see what I mean? These is good problems to have, Coach. When I was going to get to Kelsey Mitchell because this is like a lot of good weapons. Now, I have to ask, what was that process like? Aliyah Boston is a $6 million player. You said she's a point forward. So just talk about that, going through that, figuring it out. Because, again, I love to see, you talked about it earlier, like, we're OGs. So I love to see the players get into the bag.
Man, I'll tell you, thankfully I'm not a GM, so I don't have to deal with working all the numbers and planning for the future and working in the now and all of that. But I'm just really proud. I mean, where we are as a league, these players are the best in the world. They deserve this opportunity. They deserve to be paid like professionals. Aliyah in particular, I think really showed what she's capable of. She's grown every single year. And so to be able to reward her, to be able to reward Kelsey, and, certainly we're going to be able to do that with Caitlin as well. I feel like a proud mom in this moment for where we are in this league, and they deserve it.
Well, then you've had a lot of kids. We haven't even gotten to Sophie Cunningham yet. I just want to know, do you get to tell her what to do, or is that the scariest thing in the world?
No, I don't tell her what to do. Certainly, no. Look, I think that again, when you've been around enough, you know that each one of these players, this is what they do. Not who they are necessarily, and each one of them brings something special to the table on and off the floor. They have other talents, they have other interests, and so it's making sure that it doesn't conflict all the time, right? We keep the main thing, but at the same time, it's personality, and we see more of their personality because we show them more, right? So you really get a sense of who these women are, of all the things that they're capable of doing. And I'm just, again, like I said, I'm just really proud. This group is special. I love these guys, and I want to continue to elevate them in the best way possible.
As Renee pointed out, every single one of your games is a nationally televised game. When you turn off the lights at night and you think about this incredible rotation that you have and these star players that you have, what's your greatest concern for this season?
Staying healthy. I think that after what we experienced a year ago is making sure that we stay healthy, making sure that we take care of our minds, our bodies, our souls, put ourselves in position to be successful. Some of that's, us as coaches, some of that is them as players, some of that's just sheer luck. That's my biggest concern.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Suzy Shuster. This is Women's Sports Now. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Don't make me tell you what to do. You can catch us live each and every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on the ESPN app.